And we've covered a rape revenge movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is rough for us to sort of...
But I think we're gonna come into movies.
It's gonna happen eventually.
It's not all gonna be nonsense movies. No. It can't be.
No. We're gonna try.
We're gonna try our best, but eventually we're gonna come across
pretty
movies
much the
like
rest of this month is nonsense movies, thankfully.
More or less, yeah. A little bit. There's some serious, but yeah.
Mostly.
But not serious like this.
No.
Because there's going to be movies like this that either me or you or both of us want to talk about. That's kind of the whole point of this show, is that we want to put it on wax. Plus, I think doing the month that we're doing we're looking at African Americans in film as directors, actors, writers. Doing movies like this would be important for this kind of month.
For what we're trying to do by doing this, you know what I mean?
Like I assure you, this will not be our only Spike Lee movie.
And I assure you, we will always be uncomfortable when we deal with shit like this.
Because he makes serious films.
He does.
But they're fucking fantastic.
They're fantastic, but we're two chuckleheads, so we don't want to, it's hard for us to deal with this because we're trying to just come with the yucks, and sometimes there just ain't yucks to have.
Yeah.
We try our damnedest, but sometimes it ain't funny.
Yeah. So this movie's fantastic. I'm giving it 9 Fight the Powers out of 10. Again, he's like, fuck it, Spike Lee's so good. Because usually it's not that it wasn't jarring, because it was. Because like to go from like somewhat comedic to then serious to then fucking real serious times.
Right.
He transitions well enough to where you're not like, okay, now I'm like, geez, it doesn't take you all the way back. It takes you back, but not all the way back. And the powerful scenes that he does provide, like again, that entire last, the riot at Sal's, is so fucking good. Yeah. It's so captivating, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, fuck, man. Like, you can't keep your eyes off the screen. You want to see what happens next if you're watching it for the first time.
Right.
And if you haven't seen this movie, for whatever reason, because you never know, with this show, again, you think, oh, well, everyone's seen Do the Right Thing.
I hadn't. Or at least,
not all
I hadn't seen all of it. I thought I had, but I'm not going to lie, when the riot happened, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew something was going to happen because I'd already done the notes prior, so I knew the ending where I'm like, well, I knew Radio Raheem was going to die, but I didn't know how and I didn't know why. Yeah. And that was strange to me. I'm like, why do I not remember that? And then it occurred to me I'd never seen it, because you're not going to forget shit like that. No. I will also give it 9 D batteries out of 10. For pretty much the same reasons you said, but the character development, like you said, seeing...
both good and bad. Yeah. Of like some characters get redeemed,
some don't,
and some get worse.
Yeah, right? And like things you pointed out, where like you get like Sal, who's increasingly getting hotter and hotter and getting angrier and angrier, gets pushed over to a brink.
To where there is no return.
Yeah, exactly.
You say shit, you eventually say shit that you just can't take back.
Yeah, and you
can't just apologize, sorry. No.
No, like
sorry's not going to fucking cut it, dude.
Exactly. Like, you clearly said something wrong, and guess what happens when you do?
Because you see it on his face the next day after the riots, because you could see it's like, fuck, because he knows it wasn't just the rioters' fault. Yeah. It was his fault, too.
He knows that he's aware of it. Like, he's just sort of...
He's at fault as well.
He's slowly cleaning his place. He's like, well, this is what happened, and he knows why. Like, he's well aware as to why it happened, and I do love the fact that also Pino wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you just don't want that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he never went back. But I like the development. I like the I mean, we didn't talk much about the subplot of him being a father, of Mookie being a father, and Rosie Perez's character all too often, because it's kind of a subplot that's a little... Just sort of like...
Yeah, she's not in this whole movie.
No, she's really not. But it's sort of just mostly there to sort of like... Because again, with Mookie being the main character, you're kind of just showing like... He's got... Like, it's a through line throughout the whole movie of like, you gotta be something other than a pizza boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's another little bit of thing. And like, as much as you could look at that probably and just go, well, that's kind of unnecessary. That through line. But I'm like, no, it's absolutely necessary, because like constantly everyone's telling him, you got the mayor telling him to do the right thing, and you got everybody telling him he's got to do something. He fucking did something, He threw the fucking trash can through Sal's window. That's doing something. So that little nugget that's thrown in there the whole time is how fucking good a storyteller Spike Lee can be.
Yeah.
It's shit like that make me really enjoy this film.
But speaking of the mayor, he's my MVP.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Ozzie Davis so fucking good in this movie.
I love Ozzie Davis in everything. This is one of his better roles.
He is so good throughout this entire film. Like, acting as, like, the neighborhood conscience. Like,
yeah, he absolutely is that.
He's, like, the through line for a lot of characters. Some positive, some negative. You know? Like, we get one of C's crew, again, I think it was Ahmed, like, just calling him just a garbage piece of, like, crap, like, you're worthless.
Yeah, you're a nothing piece of shit. And he, weirdly enough, never holds it against him. Never.
Because that's just the mayor, right?
Yeah, he's just the guy, right?
And I like that he gets Mother Sister at the end. And
they kind of, they finally become friends kind of thing, you know what I mean? I like that, and yeah, I love his character. From the second I saw him, I'm like, oh, I almost called immediately, because I'd forgotten that, because truth be told, I don't look at the cast list, I just copy and paste now, because I was sick of making too many mistakes, so I didn't know who was in it. I didn't remember anyway. And as soon as he popped up, I'm like, well, there's my MVP. Because I fucking love Ozzy Davis.
Oh, he's so good.
I've always loved him. He's so fucking good and everything.
He's so good.
And especially when I saw him as a drunk, I'm like, oh, well, he's going to fucking win. As long as he's in this movie as often as I think he is, he's going to win. And sure enough, he absolutely did, so.
I saw that, like, Danny Aiello was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I think the mayor, Ozzy
the
Davis
mayor
should have gotten
I think so, too.
love from the Academy.
So, too, but he is in my heart, if that helps.
So we go from somewhat serious, if not very serious, in some points of this film, to a more lighthearted affair.
This is very lighthearted. By the way, the drama that we were talking about earlier, it's a romantic comedy. So the drama comes from romance, not actual drama, so don't worry.
We are going way back to July 16th, 1999 for The Wood.
Yep.
So this is
a favorite of mine.
Pick?
This is legitimately a favorite of mine. I stumbled onto this movie. Kids, back in the day, we had a thing called cable. And it was like, and they would have movie channels, and it was like Netflix, except you couldn't pick what was on. It would just show up.
And you just hope for the best.
Exactly. And I was watching the movie network one day, and sure enough, this movie just begins. And it's just like, I'm listening to this, like, sweet, smooth R&B jam. I'm like, this is kind of cool. Let's see what this movie's about. And I couldn't stop watching it. I was just enthralled, because it's just a feel good kind of young teen movie kind of thing.
Right, or at least young men.
It's mostly about young men, about 13 or 14 years old, going through high school together as best friends.
Yeah.
And their trials and tribulations. It's fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I think you all will too, so please join us.
And we are going to be hoping that, I think I akin this last year to Crush Groove.
Yes.
Of a movie that, if you look at other movie podcasts, other things, it's a movie no one really has ever talked about.
No.
That's ultimately the goal we want on this show from time to time, to spotlight a movie that maybe, because hell, you even said, we'll see you next week. There's not many notes on this
There's no notes for this movie. I tried. No one remembers this fucking movie. And I think that's a goddamn crime, because I think if you're looking for some fun, this movie will help you out. Yeah, there's no one talking about this movie. It is not a thing, so this is one of those things where if anyone is like me and stumbled onto this movie like I did, they'll be like, oh my god, somebody remembers this shit? Let's do it. So hopefully everybody will enjoy it. I think go out and watch it. I think you'll enjoy yourself.
So that'll be next week. We're going to be out of here for this week. You were Steve.
You were Justin.
And we're way back and gone.
Do the right thing.